Einen wunderschönen guten Tag, verehrtes Publikum, und herzlich willkommen.
A very good day to you, dear audience, and welcome to Biovision here at the tables in the Volkshaus Zürich, but of course also to you at home who are watching via live stream. My name is Frank Eihorn, and as CEO of the Foundation Biovision, it is a pleasure to welcome you to a very special event, namely to our 25th anniversary symposium. Grüezi miteinander. Hello, a warm welcome from me too. I am Sharon Nerenheim. Together with 3 colleagues in Geneva and Zurich, I am responsible for the institutional fundraising at Biovision. Today, however, you will meet me in another role, in the role of moderator, and I look forward to guiding you through the program for the next few hours. We celebrate our 25th anniversary of Biovision, and we're going to look back on Biovision's beginnings. On the other hand, we would like to present our current work together with project partners from Ethiopia and Kenya. And last but not least, we wouldn't miss the opportunity to give you a glimpse into our plans for the future. This year we have chosen a theme that accompanies us in all our partnerships, namely coming together at one table. Because we are convinced that meeting at eye level around a table has enormous potential and is incredibly important for successful work. I will join you later again. Meanwhile, I wish you a good time and hand over to my colleague Sharon. Thank you. Some of you will have noticed that we have given you a slightly different welcome here on site than usual. Well, because we promised you recipes for the future. And we are keeping our promise on the one hand on stage, where we talk about what ingredients are needed for sustainable nutrition. On the other hand, this also applies to you here in the hall. That's why today you are sitting at these beautiful long-laid tables that invite you to eat. I think you are going to hear a lot about our work in the past, present, and future. And during that time, my colleagues are going to serve you 4 small courses matching the program. And you already realize we don't have so much space for everyone, so we would like to ask you just to come closer at the table so that it's a bit easier for everyone. Thank you. We are thus creating an even more direct link between the work of Biovision and the food on our plates. After all, a sustainable transformation of food systems is taking place always from the field to the plate, all the way through. And as I speak, you're already getting a taste of what that can mean with the first course. It's a marinated red cabbage salad with dried mango. As you eat, try to feel out how the mangoes tickle your taste buds. Are they sweet or rather sour? What happens, the combination with red cabbage? And actually that was new to me. All in all, there are over 1,000 different varieties of mango, mostly growing in the tropical and subtropical areas, including Ethiopia. And there, mango cultivation is a central pillar of agriculture. Unfortunately, mango trees are also exposed to great dangers. pest infestation lead to dramatic crop losses. And this in turn often leads to the use of chemical pesticides. And you can imagine this is very harmful to both people and the natural environment. And that's why our partner organization, the Ethiopian branch of the Insect Research Institute, ICIPE, has developed an ecological pest control method for mango cultivation in Ethiopia.
Im Süden Äthiopiens, in der Region Arba-Minch, leben Menschen seit Generationen vom Mangoanbau. Doch die Bedingungen werden immer härter und die Existenz vieler Familien ist bedroht. Aufgrund des Klimawandels wird der Anbau immer schwieriger und invasive Schädlinge führen zum Verlust ganzer Ernten. Kleinbauer Amsalu Ketsche hat die Situation selbst erlebt.
Mein Name ist Amsalu Ketsche. Ich bin Mangobauer und lebe mit meiner Familie in Chanokibele. Mangos werden bei uns seit vielen Jahren angebaut. Doch der Befall durch Fruchtfliegen ist für uns Bauern ein großes Problem geworden. Manche verlieren ihre ganze Ernte.
Biovision hat in Zusammenarbeit mit dem lokalen Forschungsinstitut ICP ökologische Methoden entwickelt, um die Situation der Bauernfamilien nachhaltig zu verbessern. Es konnten auch viele junge Menschen ohne Arbeit zu Mango-Experten ausgebildet werden. Sie bringen den Bäuerinnen und Bauern bei, wie sie ihre Böden wieder fruchtbar machen und die Erträge steigern können. Alte Mangobäume werden durch neue Sorten ersetzt oder veredelt. Biologische Schädlingsfallen sollen die Maßnahmen in Zukunft ergänzen. Hanna Guta ist eine von 100 Jungunternehmerinnen in unserem Projekt.
Ich bin Hanna Guta und züchte Mangobäume. Nach der 10. Klasse habe ich versucht, in der Region Arbeit zu finden. Aber es gab keine offenen Stellen. Die Bauern machen große Fortschritte und können inzwischen viel mehr ernten. Das Geld, das ich mit meiner Arbeit verdiene, hat meinem Leben eine neue Perspektive gegeben.
Heute können Kleinbauer Amsalu Ketsche und seine Familie gut vom Mangoanbau leben. Ernteertrag und Einkommen sind sogar 4-mal höher.
Das Mango-Projekt und das neue Wissen bringen uns viele Vorteile. Dank der Erträge kann ich meinen Kindern sogar die Schule ermöglichen.
Der Erfolg von Arba-Minch gibt uns Hoffnung, doch unsere Arbeit steht erst am Anfang.
Ja, und wir haben das Glück, dass der Wissenschaftler des ICP, der für dieses Projekt zuständig ist, heute hier bei uns
is here with us in Zurich, and he's going to tell us more about it.
Hello everyone, Tadalita Farra is my name. I'm from International Center of Insect Physiology and Ecology, Ethiopia office. I'm going to tell you a story about mango from Ethiopia. You might ask yourself that why mango is important, why mango is so important for small-scale farmers in Africa. Mango is a cash crop. It brings cash to the farmers, and therefore the farmers use the cash generated by selling mango to cover school fees for their children, to buy farm inputs, as well as to cover other household expenses. In addition to this, mango also brings food and nutrition security to the farmers and their families. Mango is called a superfood because mango is loaded with over 20 vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and the dietary fiber. Therefore, it has been recommended that consuming one mango fruit a day is good for health in moderation with other food items. Now, this project has been implemented in Ethiopia, specifically in southern Ethiopia, a place called Arba-Minch. Arba-Minch is known for mango production in the country. That is why we are implementing the project in Arba-Minch. It is a nice place surrounded by 2 lakes and having a natural forest around it. So despite all the advantages I told you before about mango, mango farmers face different challenges of production of mango. So some of the challenges that farmers face include lack of livelihood diversifications. Farmers in the project area, they grow mango alone. And also they have challenges of accessing farm inputs and accessing markets. In addition to this, farmers also have challenges of youth employment. There are so many young men and women around without job. Therefore, they feel that they are a burden to the society. So when we are saying lack of livelihood diversifications, it means that farmers in the project area, they grow mango, they don't grow other crops. Therefore, they lack livelihood diversification. And very often, they are vulnerable to climate change, especially the impact of climate such as drought. So very often they are hit by drought. And they don't have access to diverse food, diverse source of income, and nutrition. So these are the challenges that we identified. The second challenge is access to farm inputs. So farmers need farm inputs to produce more mango. They need market to sell mango, their products. So what happens is that farmers don't have access to improved mango varieties. Instead, they use all the mango varieties which are susceptible to disease and the pests. They don't have access to input like eco-friendly pest management technologies. Therefore, they use lots of pesticides and spraying their mango trees against pests. So spraying pesticide is not good. It pollutes the environment, it pollutes animals and the humans altogether. Therefore, we need to look for alternative solutions, eco-friendly ways of managing pests. The other one is youth unemployment is an issue in the project area. Generally in Africa, 2/3 of African population, or about 70% of African population is below 30 years old. In other words, Africa is the youngest population in the world. In Ethiopia, for example, every year, 2 million young men and women enter into the labor market. However, the economy is too small to provide employment opportunities for young men and women. Therefore, hopeless and desperate youth get involved into crimes, violences, leading into social and political instabilities. Nevertheless, these young men and women, they have energy, they have the aspirations to fulfill, and they have the capacity to change the economy if they are given opportunities. So, what we did in this project was that we identified the challenges, the 3 challenges, and then we converted the challenges into opportunities. All right? So we converted the challenges into opportunities. So the first thing we did was we introduced livelihood diversification to increase farmers' income, to enhance their resilience to climate changes, and then we also converted the jobless youth into input suppliers. And then finally, we connected the farmers to sell their products directly to the market, that is the cooperatives. So when I say livelihood diversification, that means we, through this project, introduced on-farm diversifications, crop diversifications. Instead of growing mango alone, we introduced with the farmers to cultivate different crops so that they increase their resilience to climate changes. They increase their incomes. So growing different crops at the same time on the same farm is called agroecological intensification. It is recommended because it enhances resource utilization, especially land, and it is also good to maintain soil fertility and to enhance environmental sustainability. Therefore, when we diversify the fields with the farmers introduced different crops, different farmings into mangoes, then they come up with diverse foods diverse products, as you can see. They have cereals, they have legumes, vegetables, root crops, and others, so that it comes with diversity of food. That means farmers now can have diverse income, diverse nutrition, and they are resistant or they are resilient to climate changes when diversifying their incomes. Now, we converted the jobless youth, like I've said before, one of the challenges is youth unemployment. So we capacitated the youth. We equipped the youth with new skills, all right? So we trained them in entrepreneurship skills, in agribusinesses, using mango value chains, so that now the youth are equipped in agroecological farming. So we converted them from jobless into having enterprises. Therefore, this time around, the youth have different enterprises, including tree nurseries. Some of them, they have vegetable farms, beekeeping, and other related businesses, so that the youth bridge the gap that farmers have, like for example, lack of input supplies. They supply the farmers with improved mango varieties. This was a problem before. Now that through the youth enterprises, we solved it. And then some of the youth are also organized, and they supply the farmers with improved eco-friendly pest management technologies, so that farmers are no more using pesticides in controlling pests. In addition to this, farmers are now being integrated with the youth. The youth are teaching them, educating the farmers on agroecological farming, particularly on soil health management, on post-harvest management, on integrated pest management. So it creates a holistic approach whereby the youth created employment opportunities and the farmers have access to technologies. So it is a win-win situation for both the youth as well as the farmers. So when the youth enterprises are supplying the farmers with improved technologies, then the farmers use them in controlling pests, like, for example, ecologically managing pests, like using traps, for example. These traps are hung on mango trees. The farmers place them on the branches of mango trees. And then the fruit fly, which normally damage the fruits, they will trap into the traps, the bucket you see. So this trap releases some compounds, which is very safe for the environment. It is called organic substances. Then it attracts the flies. The flies will come into the trap, and then they get dead. So farmers are every day, every week, using these traps, reducing the number of the insects, and reaching a point where they will not damage mango fruits. Now, this is a typical example. For example, before we started the project, farmers were losing 50%, sometimes 100% of their fruits because of fruit flies. They were very much desperate. So 2-3 months after the intervention by the project, the loss drastically reduced because the traps reduces the flies. So it goes up to like 5%, in some places even none. Okay? So farmers are very happy because they get clean harvest, they get good market, and then they sell their products without any problem. Now, we said we have identified challenges, converted challenges into opportunities. Then what did we achieve at the end? What did we achieve? So these are some of the things that we achieved at the end of the project over the last 2 to 3 years. So about 4,000 farmers are using agroecological farming this time around. And now farmers have access to cooperatives, so that farmers directly sell their products to the cooperatives. They have bargaining power. But before, because of the middlemen, farmers do not have selling power. they did not negotiate with middlemen. Now that through the project, we link the farmers directly with local cooperatives so that farmers would get good prices for their products. And then we created employment opportunities for hundreds of young men and women. So these young men and women, they use, through their enterprises, they supplied the farming community with about 200,000 improved mango trees. So in the coming 3-4 years, this is going to be a big thing for the farmers. And they also earned about $30,000. Remember, these youths were jobless, did not have anything at all when we started. Now they are making money out of these opportunities. And then through the project, we trained about 500 extension agents. And these extension agents in turn trained more than 9,000 farmers in agroecological farming. Now, when we were implementing this project, we did not do it alone. We cannot do it in a vacuum because we work with the government hand in hand so that when the project phases out, the government system will pick it up and continues. So that we have been working with the government structures and the local structures at all levels by directly engaging local authorities to get support for the projects. So these are some of the examples, the directors that we are working with. They are supporting us, or they are making sure that the project directly contributes to local development agenda or priorities. So we are working with different local authorities, including this one. And then we also work with other local authorities, which is related to our projects. For example, if we are disseminating ecologically friendly pest management technologies, we work with the head of plant health clinic. So he makes sure that our project really contributes to the farmer's problem in terms of pest management. And then we also work with different experts, agronomists, entomologists, pathologists, and so on. So that when we are working with experts, they make sure that we are selecting the right farmers in implementing the project, right? So they make sure that we are training farmers in the right way. So they assist us, they work with us. So overall, when we are implementing the project, we mobilize the local authorities, so we get support from them, so that in the future, when the project phases out, then it will be taken up by the government system. That is all I have. Thank you so much. Vielen Dank. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tadele. This is really impressive. And before you leave the stage, I have one question for you, which is, what is your personal recipe for the future?
Thank you, Sharon. My personal recipe for the future is I would like to lift out more and more people out of poverty. Thank you.
Very nice, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Liebes Publikum, das war Dr. Tadele Tefera.
Thank you.
Sie merken es ist wieder Zeit, ein bisschen näher an die Tische zu rücken. Vielen Dank fürs Mitmachen.
Okay, you realize that it's now time again to come closer at the tables. Thank you very much for cooperating. Among others, I heard that we need a very comprehensive approach to sustainably improve the food system in Ethiopia. And as Dr. Tefera told us, the local authorities play an important role because the political framework conditions have to support the overall system all the way from ecological food systems up to the markets so that a long-term anchoring will be possible. And this is why Biovision also works at this end of the food system. For example, in the Murang'a County of Kenya. And let me first, before we talk about that, talk something about our tables. Please imagine we're about 50 kilometers north of the capital, Nairobi. In Murang'a, about 1 million of people live there, and a very popular dish is ugali, a sourly maize preparation, sometimes eaten with meat or fish, or matoke, that's a dish of green bananas, like one dish preparation in one pot, very tasteful. And then we have another composition in the kitchen, mukimo. It's already on your table. Maybe it reminds you of hashed potatoes with a special taste, but not with the liquid sauce in the middle. Just try to find out what kind of herbs you can differ. And while you eat and you have a taste of Murang'a, we would like to tell you how the Kenyan county has become a pioneer in matters of sustainable food systems, because there we have now a sustainable, comprehensive and fair agriculture. And they have introduced that to secure the path into long-term food security. And what it means to sit together at the table and use that theme to go together into the future. We will have now our colleague Hans von Zinkernagel in a video talk with Faith Gikunda. She's the project coordinator with our partner organization ICE in Kenya. Please welcome Hans Zinkernagel, project leader, policy and advocacy of Biovision. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be speaking English so I can connect with our counterpart, but I'm very excited to be here with you to tell you about an innovative and inspiring project that Biovision has been supporting in Murang'a County. And for this, I would like to have a video call with our partner, Faith. So this will give you actually an idea of what it's like for our policy advocacy team, who works every day with our partners in East Africa. As you can imagine, we have a lot of virtual calls. So let me try and reach Faith so she can join us. Hi, Faith.
Hi, Hans. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am very well and traveling for work right now.
You're traveling for work. Where are you?
I am actually at the Vauxhall Theatre for the Biovision Foundation Symposium.
Oh, you're here. Wait, where exactly are you?
I am at the backstage.
You're backstage? Wait, let me come find you. Hey, that worked very well. Welcome, Faith. So, dear guests, we're very lucky today. Usually, I only see Faith over video, but all the way from Kenya, based in Nairobi, Faith has come to share with us today the story of the inspiring work that has been happening in Murang'a County. And we've been talking about the ingredients for sustainable food systems. And Faith, as you know well, at Biovision, we're always thinking, how is it that we create transformation of food systems? And we don't have all the answers. So I think the insights that you come with from the project in Murang'a can teach us a lot about how to create food systems transformation. But maybe before we get into the exciting story, you can maybe tell a little bit to those here who have never had a chance to go to Murang'a, a little bit about Murang'a County.
Hi, everyone. My name is Faith Gikunda from Institute for Culture and Ecology. It's an organization that is based in East Africa and specifically Kenya. I'm here today to tell you about a story of a transformation of stakeholders that have come together to transform their food systems in a county known as Murang'a that is in Kenya. So just to take you back, or to rather tell you where Murang'a is specifically located and how they've been able to transform their food systems, I would like to mention that this county is very close to the capital city, which is Nairobi, and it's an important county in the term of it feeds the city, that is the capital city. And most of the residents in this county actually depend on agriculture. And some of the crops that are farmed here, you find that there is maize, you find that there is beans, you find that there is bananas, and also they have avocado and mangoes.
Thank you, Faith. And as was mentioned, mokimo is a dish that is appreciated in Murang'a. So everyone is having a taste of an appreciated dish from Murang'a here today. And you also mentioned avocados. Isn't it so that a lot of avocados from Murang'a make their way to Europe?
Actually, Murang'a accounts for 70% of the avocado that is exported by Kenya. And if any of our guests here has eaten avocado from Kenya, then that means it must have come from Murang'a.
So that means that our guests here tonight might already have a connection to Murang'a through the tasty avocados that they have eaten. And we've seen in these pictures that Murang'a is a very beautiful place, produces lots of foods. But back to our project and back to the story, there must have been some challenges because the people in Murang'a wanted to create food systems transformation. But maybe you can help everyone understand what were some of these challenges in the food system.
Okay, as you've mentioned, Murang'a is a very beautiful county, and it's a county that has a lot of potential in terms of agriculture. However, for the past couple of years, this has drastically changed. Farmers continue to suffer because of low productivity, they're having low yields. And just to bring out the picture of what currently Murang'a is in terms of food production, I would like to tell a story of a farmer that I interacted with a couple of weeks before I came to this symposium. And the name of this farmer is John Gige. He's about 62 years. And most of his life, he has actually been involved in farming. And what he mentioned is that lately, for the past couple of years, about 5 years, his farm yields have drastically gone down, and his soil is unable to sustain the yields, or rather to produce the yields that he used to get earlier on. He mentioned that out of the 10 crops that he previously used to farm, is now only able to farm 3 types, that is bananas, kales, and sukuma wiki. And what he expressed is that he's very worried about his family, because by coming down from over 10 crops to 3 crops, that means that his family is food insecure. And John's case is not isolated. Actually, it's a story that is very common to most of the farmers in the county, such that 1 out of every family in Murang'a is food insecure. And this is so sad that 1 out of 5 children under 5 has actually experienced stunted growth because of issues to do with food and lack of food varieties. So that is the situation in Murang'a, and we've been working together as stakeholders to see if this can really change and if we can transform their food systems.
Okay, thank you, Faith, for sharing this baseline with us. So sometimes we don't always realize, but even farmers themselves can face issues of food insecurity. And as you mentioned, issues also of the soil not being healthy enough to produce enough food. And that also leading to farmers not always having enough income to support their families and their children. So we see that, as you've just mentioned, there are these very real, complex issues that are happening and that exist in the food system in Murang'a, and they're all connected. And now we can get to the exciting part, and I can ask you, what happened in Murang'a? What did the people of Murang'a do, did they set out to do to try and bring out change and transform the food system for the better?
Okay, actually after the many stakeholders realized what was happening in Murang'a and the declining food productivity, the county government was the first to take action where some officers started engaging in developing an organic farming policy that they pushed up to a certain level and also started to pilot some projects in that line. However, along the way, they realized that actually they could not sustain this because it was not able to sufficiently cover all the issues that they were experiencing. And at almost the same time, Institute for Culture and Ecology, where I work, we happened to be involved in some projects there, and the county, we started talks with the county and formed a coalition to try and look for a broader kind of a solution to what was being experienced by farmers. And when this happened, agroecology actually came out strongly as the key strategy that the county was going to use to address this food issue. And at that point, we realized that it was not just enough to just engage Institute for Culture and Ecology and the county only. So we started now bringing other stakeholders together. And at this level is when the coalition was transformed to a multi-stakeholder platform. So basically what we've been doing right now, we've been working at stakeholders that is composed of the county, composed of the farmers themselves, because they are actually implementing these, the private sector, CSOs, and institutions of higher learning. So that is how we've been working.
Okay. I really like this approach of the agroecology multi-stakeholder platform that you just mentioned, that tries to tackle these issues by bringing together around a table, sort of in line with the theme of tonight, sitting around a table with farmers, with government representatives, with civil society, with private sector, so that the issues can be fully presented, understood by the government from the perspective of the farmers and the other food systems actors, and so they can try and find a solution. And it's really inspiring, of course, for us at Biovision to know that the solution that the county wanted, that the people of Muranga wanted, was agroecology. We actually have just some pictures of what this multi-stakeholder platform looks like. So people sitting around and working together to come up with a solution. But Faith, I'm interested to know, they set about to implement agroecology as a solution. How was this done? And was this an easy task?
Okay, I will start with the last part and mention that it was actually not an easy task because, again, we realized that the issues affecting food systems in the county were a lot. And to bring these stakeholders together was not an easy task because each of them was working in isolation. And at that point, Institute for Culture and Ecology took up the role of coordinating these stakeholders. And we were very lucky at that time to have been implementing an advocacy project that is funded by Biovision Foundation, which I would like to say thank you very much because the foundation has really contributed to the success of what we do. And through that project, we brought in those stakeholders, one, to collaborate, two, to seek a joint solution, and thirdly, to engage grassroots organizations in the implementation. So we actually came together, sat on a table, brought all our ideas together, right from the farmers to the highest institutions, and all of them were consolidated in the agroecology policy. This was in the year 2020 when we started this process, and we pushed it up to around 2022, and that is where we encountered another problem because we were almost getting to our general elections. So we were a bit worried that if the government changes after the elections, we were going to lose what we had already done. But luckily, having the county on board the multi-stakeholder platform sort of made the process easier for us. And in June 2022, we managed to have the first agroecology policy in the country and in East Africa as well. So we were able to do it before the change of government, and we were also able to ensure that the stakeholders continued being together.
Thank you, Faith. This is truly remarkable. that farmers and civil society and that the private sector could sit down with government to co-shape, to influence together a policy. And it sounds like there were some challenges and concerns about making sure that it could be adopted before the elections, before the change to a new government administration, but you succeeded. So we hugely commend ICE and the multi-stakeholder platform for this incredible initiative and this really groundbreaking achievement. In the festive spirit of having passed this agroecology policy, we have a video that shows the official launch event to also give you a bit of a feeling for what that looked like on the day that the policy was officially launched earlier this year.
Na tukiachana na haya elimu, tuangazie mazingira ambapo huku hali ya hewa ikizidi kudorora, wakulima wamewataka wametakiwa kupanda mimea isiyo na madhara kwa mazingira kama mojawapo wa njia za kupunguza uchafuzi wa mazingira. Yanajiri huku kaunti ya Murang'a ikiwa ya kwanza kuzindua mradi wa kilimo hai, mradi ambao utazalisha lishe bora. Akizungumza na wakazi wa kaunti hiyo, naibu gavana Stephen Munania amewataka wakazi kupanda miti kwa wingi.
This was a news report on national TV of this official launch of the policy. Faith, you were actually there that day. Does this inspire any memories, or how did you feel on that day?
Yes, actually I was part of this. I was part of the planning team and the team that organized all this. And it really brings back beautiful memories because, as I mentioned earlier, this was the first agroecology policy in the county. And basically, all the stakeholders that are working towards transforming food systems in the county were there. So it was a beautiful day for me.
That's wonderful. I wish I could have been there. And I just want to emphasize that this is really a groundbreaking achievement because it's the first policy in the region and one of the first in the world that we know about that sets out to transform a food system, deal with all these issues that you mentioned through agroecology, and doing so in a way that involves everyone. So once again, thank you so much, Faith, and congratulations for this incredible work that you've done. I think you've helped all of us advance our own thinking into what are the tools, how do we go about improving our food systems. And on a personal note, also thank you so much for being here on stage tonight to share this inspiring story with all of our guests here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Hans. And at this point, I would like to bring a present all the way from Kenya. As you can see, that is the outline of the map of Murang'a County. And everything that is contained in that map is actually food that is grown in the county. And if you look at that outline, it looks like a bouquet of flowers. And at the multi-stakeholder platform in Murang'a, we say that the best thing we gave to the world is the bouquet of flowers of healthy food. So this is the bouquet that I bring here today, and to also say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to tell you the story of Murang'a. I hope that it will inspire very many other counties, like it's doing already. Many counties are coming to learn from what was done. And also to mention that besides just launching the policy, we've gone ahead and put measures in place to ensure that we actually implement agroecology successfully in the county. And out of this implementation framework, we've picked 3 strategies that we've started with. The first strategy is setting up of demonstration farms. The second strategy is setting up a marketing board. And the third strategy is having agroecology integrated in the budget of Murang'a County. So with these 3 items, we hope that we will have a strong foundation for implementation, because the demonstration farms will actually act as a learning center for farmers and for other stakeholders that would want to learn about the different approaches in agroecology, the different principles. And the marketing board will complement that by offering marketing services to the stakeholders that are actually implementing and the farmers that are growing agroecological produce. And thirdly, having agroecology in the county budget, it means that implementation will be sustainable in a way that the county will continue funding the implementation activities, that is the trainings, research, and also actually offering subsidy to the farmers, as they've already started doing. We've had instances where the government has actually given subsidies to the farmers to farm their produce agroecologically. So that is what we are doing in implementing. There is so much that is in this document, but those are the 3 strategies that we've started with.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that, Faith. I think it's helpful to also know exactly what this will look like when it gets implemented. And the last point you mentioned about making sure that the government is committed to allocating money towards agroecology is so important. As we know, without financial commitments from governments, it's hard to ensure sustainability. So this, once again, is a model that you said is already inspiring other counties who have followed suit, who are developing their own agroecology policies, and other countries in the region have as well. And we want really to share this story far and wide so that many other food systems players around the world can take notice and learn from Muranga. So once again, Faith, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
And thank you very much for this opportunity. And I also want to say a very big thank you to everyone that is here today. I know in one way or another you've supported the Muranga process. 1, to say thank you to Biovision Foundation for supporting us to be able to bring stakeholders together. 2, to my organization, Institute for Culture and Ecology, for giving me the opportunity to actually lead the process and to get to the level we are today. And to every guest here today, I know you've contributed in one way, and I really want to say thank you to you. Danke schön, and as we would say in Swahili, asanteni sana.
That was so good.
Thank you so much to both of you.
With these insights into the projects in Kenya and Ethiopia, we've seen what is possible when we closely collaborate, when we sit at a table, when we debate our future and shape it together. Maybe you want to take up that spirit, debate with each other. Then you can use the break. You're more than welcome to do so. It will be about 30 minutes break. We'll meet again at 3:30, and we'll then take a brief look at our Swiss program at Biovision. We'll hear our founder and the president of our foundation council, Hans Rudolf Herren, and representatives from the Biovision for Africa Trust. We'll meet again soon. See you then.